So, is Sparking Zero worth your time in 2025? Maybe you never played this game, or maybe you stopped playing because of the state of the game at launch. Either way, I will show you in this video how much Sparking Zero has improved so you can decide for yourself. Keep in mind, this is mainly a fighting game, and fighting is what you do 90% of the time. Yeah, there are some interesting stories in the base game, and you can create your own original stories or play original stories created by other people, but it all comes down to fighting, so yeah, it's an arena fighting game. If you don't like that, this game is not for you. With that out of the way, I previously made a video talking about all the problems the players were complaining about, and long story short, they fixed everything. Okay, maybe not everything, but almost everything. So, you don't have to watch my previous video, I'm just gonna tell you right now, real fast, what the problems were from worst to not so bad in my own opinion. Number 10 were input problems. Sometimes you wanted to do an action, but it would do another action instead. Number 9 were annoying playstyles with little to no counterplay, like key blast spamming and then hitting you with an unblockable ult. Number 8 were camera locking problems, when you wouldn't lock into your enemy. Number 7 were rage quitting problems, where players would rage quit before losing and there were no repercussions. Number 6 were after image and instant sparking being way too broken. Number 5 were players were not satisfied with story mode. Number 4 were vanishing battles. Basically, instead of testing your skills, vanishing the attacks was so easy it turned into a key check, because the one with most key won pretty much always. 3. Corrupted data, some players lost all progress, mainly on console. Number 2 were lack of maps, players were not happy about some missing iconic maps. And number 1, lack of characters and customization. So, that seems like a lot, because it is, but I'm pleased to say that pretty much all of these have been fixed. Good devs. So basically, to my knowledge, input problems are seemingly gone, annoying playstyles have been nerfed hard, camera locking is way faster now if the opponent is in line of sight, rage quitters are now punished with longer wait times the more they rage quit, after image and instant sparking got some big nerfs, story mode unfortunately is untouched, but we are getting an event. There were quality of life updates for the whole make your own story stuff. Vanish battles are way cooler now. There seems to be no more problems with data that I'm aware of. Unfortunately, no new maps yet, hopefully in the future. And we got some cool characters in form of DLC from the superhero movie. We got Giant Cell Max, both Gamma 1 and 2, Orange Piccolo and the badass Beast Gohan. Peak! They are unfortunately paid DLC though. So, to explain more in depth, let me go over all that real quick, starting with the Vanish battles. The problem was, Vanish battles were taking way too long, because they cost almost no key and were always the same timing. So, once you got it, that's it. Like, it was basically a key check, but people would still go ahead and make you use all your key in hopes that you would fail, making it a boring, repetitive slog. So, they made each vanish cost more key, and with every consecutive vanish, the timing now gets tighter and tighter, making it harder and harder to vanish. Way more interesting this way. So that's great. No more long, boring vanish cutscenes. They are so intense now, once you vanish twice you really gotta lock in, or you're getting kicked in the butt. The custom stories and all I don't really know much about, that's not really my cup of tea, but basically you got more options now, better organization tools, and it's overall easier to make the stories you want now. Now, after image and instant sparking, a lot of abusers got mad with these changes for sure, because now they actually have to play the game, yes sir! To begin, instant sparking is now 1 stock point more expensive, way harder to spam that way. And also, stocks feel much slower now. I'll explain in a second, because I gotta talk about the after image nerfs. Those were massive. No more key blasting your opponent for 15 seconds until after image runs out. Now it's only 10 seconds. But that's not all. Now you can actually cancel your opponent's after image. Yeah, that's right. If you catch your enemy with perception, it doesn't matter if he has 9 seconds left, it's getting cancelled. And that stock ain't coming back, baby. So, it's way more of a defensive skill now. Because if you get caught, bye bye after image. That plus the fact that now stocks don't fill while these skills are active, and stock meter filling speed has been nerfed in several occasions, the spam is now pretty much dead. Sure, they are still probably the best abilities in the game, and that comes just to show how broken they were in the first place. But now you can't just spam them and hope for the best. You actually have to learn how to use them. Massive W by the devs. More Ws. Rage quitting is now officially a bad strat if you actually want to play the game, because now the more you rage quit, the longer you have to wait to play the next game, and it stacks. So rage quitters out there, get humble or get waiting. Camera not locking onto the opponent right in front of you is also a thing of the past. Sure, it may take a second, but if you got the enemy in your line of sight, you should be locking on sooner than later. Just be sure that he's not behind a rock or something, alright? Supers and Ki Blasts got nerfed and now travel slower and have bigger cooldowns. So blasts are easier to vanish and dodge, while Ki Blasts won't be able to stun lock you for the whole sparking duration anymore. And input problems, the worst in my opinion, have also been fixed, or at least I haven't encountered them since the latest patch dropped, making the game way smoother and fair. And I am so happy that's the case. But that's not all. The devs have been cooking non-stop. Some other really impactful changes are: the big dash is more expensive now, depending how far you travel, possibly costing over 2 key bars. Stalling gameplay being rewarded is no longer the case, because now the match isn't decided by who has more HP when the timer runs out, but who dealt the most damage. So it doesn't matter if your opponent has more HP left because he kept using Sandru beams the whole match, which actually also got nerfed. If you did more damage than your opponent, you win. And now characters that are not in use recover HP slower than before. Something I really appreciate is that now quick match is actually quick. You can still choose to go to a room if you want, but there is finally the option to just match directly like in ranked. This is a huge W. I've been playing ranked just because I didn't want to wait around in the room. And if you thought perception and super counter were a bit too strong, then rejoice, cause those got nerfed. It is not a good idea to spam perception anymore, cause you'll be left wide open, since the time until you can do another action after perception has been increased. And now, if you fail a super counter input, the time until the game registers another super counter attempt has also been increased. So basically, the game just became way more skill based and less mashy. Because if you fail these, you can get punished hard. I love it. Oof, okay, I know it was a lot to take in, but we are not finished yet. Those were just the things that I think will be the most impactful for all the players. Great changes that should probably be in there since day one, but you know, I'm just happy they are here. Better later than never. And I couldn't be happier with how much love and dedication the devs have been showing the game. It seems they are really listening to the players and making the right choices, making the game better and better every single patch. By the way, if you are enjoying the video, consider subscribing and hitting the like button, as it helps me a ton since I'm just starting out. But alright, enough of my shameless plug. I said I wasn't finished and it's really not. Let's get into the rest of the juicy changes that happened since the game dropped. In functionality, we have character display method is changed and more organized now. We are now able to have team presets saved up. It's possible now to skip the battle intros. You can now choose to hide your team in the picking phase. In training against CPU, there is a new option called warding after attacks, probably useful to test true combos. In the battle system changes, we have charge attack buffs, no longer stunned when key blast hit, while charging and charge time reduced further based on hit count. More cooldown between key blast combos. Giant dash tackle is now guardable, so no more giant dash spam. Giants also got nerfed smash attacks in charge speed and power. Charge attacks will no longer be interrupted by rush attacks or rush key blasts while charging by opponents in sparking mode. It's now harder to mistakenly input a charge attack during a rush combo. Hitting a grand slash, leg sweep, when the opponent is falling from previous grand slash will send them flying. You will now be easier to hit when firing charged key blasts while moving. After performing an unsuccessful super counter, it will now take more time until you can do it again. After a speed impact, there will be more time until you can perform an action. Chase changing into giants does less damage now. When blown back, if you hold down, you will recover once you hit the ground. Skills changes. Skills that increase stats cost less. False courage cost increased. All I need is 5 seconds got buffed stats and less cost. Stardust barrier and now activate while receiving melee from the front. Automatic avoidance skills like Wild Sense will no longer be able to be done while attacking. Wild Sense damage has been reduced. Goku Z early Kaioken cost has been reduced, as well as Gotenks Super Saiyan 4 Goku 5 seconds now recovers full ki. In the blast department, long range ultimates in blast speed been reduced, so easier to vanish or dodge. Character adjustments. Android 19 and Ghetto now consume ki while flying, probably in response to the tournament. Thank you guys from the tournament for showing that exploit. Some other minor changes, like now you can escape from second form cell throw, Cooler got more HP on transformation, Great Ape Vegeta and Dr. Willow got an HP nerf. And finally, that's it! That was a lot to take in, so if you want to relax your brain and watch me kick ass with Goku Black, you can do that. Or if you want to see my previous video here, where I talk about all the problems the game had at launch, here it is. Don't forget to consider hitting those like and subscribe buttons. And despite what you decide to do, as always, have a good one. Peace.
Well done. You've come a long way. Be proud.
Sarap pa karay. Okay, thank you.